Hello, the internet, Saffron here, going back into a summer with the Shiba Inu. And we've been re-challenged by another dog, which we've now just first been introduced to. So now we're in the past again to see how we met this original dog before we actually get into the re-challenge. So here we go. The world comes into focus again, and I can feel it. The exhilaration when an arena begins. All alone in the world, so quiet, but no time to enjoy it. Time to get my bearings. This one is set in a modern building. Yeah, it looks like a mall with people clothes. Although they did go through the effort of putting like dog paws on everything. It's kind of fun. Anyway, actually I recognize it as a building from real life. It's a bit different, of course. Usually bustling with dogs in the shopping center downstairs, it's now deserted. Crisscrossed escalators connect the floors, still operating. The trouble is that it's visible from several floors above if you take them. I'd have to be desperate to use these. I'll still hop on the escalators if I have to escape from a tight situation, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. There are 20 of us, so I wonder how we spawned. From what I can tell, I'm on one of the lower floors, or at least if this is true to the real world building layout. Assuming we're evenly distributed, that would mean that there's only one dog for every 5 floors or so. These 5 floors could be each dog's de facto territory. Since 5 floors is pretty vast for one dog to guard, it wouldn't be difficult for an opponent to slip inside the territory. On the other paw, it would also be risky to attack someone else's territory early on, because that would leave one's own territory vulnerable. Such are the inconveniences of going solo. Contrary to earlier arenas, it isn't common to group up immediately. To have gotten this far, these dogs can take care of themselves. But I prefer this. Never rely on anybody if you want to be able to alter reality. That's what I tell myself. No need to trust anyone, but it's great if dogs trust me. That strategy has worked for me thus far. I take a walk around my floor. Storefronts are lined up along the sides with mannequins and glass showcases. Their interiors seem true to real life. The storefronts I see so far have clothes racks set up neatly. This is an important observation, as some arenas seem more like set pieces, vast and emptier. I enter a store and stalk through the aisles, noting that they would be good hiding places or like trees in the wild, good for breaking up line of sight. I continue to explore, feeling more familiar with the floor layout, but I'm also getting impatient to scout out what others are doing. It is risky since I can't defend my own base when I'm gone, but being aggressive has often worked out for me. I might as well go for it. This is one rule of reality, and I'm going to be it. What? Oh, I misread that. There is one ruler of reality, and I'm going to be it. It wouldn't be wise to use the escalators like I noted earlier. That's begging for attention. If I remember correctly, there is a fire escape somewhere here. Locating the closet staircase, I begin my ascension. I take a cursory look at the 2 floors above me, but they are deserted. On the 3rd floor above, I tread more carefully, taking a look round every corner before venturing out. If I refer to the floor I landed on as the ground floor, and my theory is correct that each dog has 5 floors, I should run into someone soon. Of course, I'm still assuming that the arena does things symmetrically, which, according to experience, is reasonable. I head up 1 more flight of stairs, making this the 4th floor from my spawn point. Oh look, it's an office! At this point, the storefronts give way to office space. I knew that some floors are rented out to companies as office space, and that there are luxury stores and restaurants in the highest floor. I like the computers. They got paw prints. They got paw prints on the chairs. They got paw prints on the little name tags or plates, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but in the real world, I've only been to the shopping floors, so I don't know what to expect on these upper floors. I wonder if there's food in the luxury restaurant floors. It would tire me out to climb up that many floors. If that happens, I'll need to conserve my energy so I don't have a disadvantage. Surely there are regular elevators past this point. There seem to be only freight elevators on the shopping floor. I'd prefer to avoid them since they move too slowly. However, there might be no choice but to take either type of elevator to access the higher floors if I don't want to be tired out from climbing the stairs. Since elevators are in enclosed space, I'll need to be extra careful since they could be easily rigged with traps. Now that I think about it, I should rig the elevators before anyone else gets to it. I spot some movement in the corner of my eye in another section of the floor. I don't think I'll go on the offensive yet, but I might as well get a good visual on this dog. I head in the direction that I saw the movement. I pass a floor-to-ceiling glass divider, which opens into an office cafeteria. Where did it go? There's no sign of anyone else in the cafeteria area, so I move along. There's another open area that forms a ring corridor. Ah, there it is again! Now I can clearly see the dog. She's gray, not a very common color, but that makes her all the more memorable. Spotting me, she moves quickly down the ring corridor and vanishes through a door. Should I go for it? I weigh my options. It's quite early on in the arena, so chances are she hasn't had much preparation. She probably isn't 100% familiar with the surroundings. Unless she happened to have worked here prior, which is unlikely. Work, if applicable, only starts after a dog has completed all of their arenas. This is so each dog can be allocated to work that suits their value. I suppose it's safe enough to take the initiative right now. I'm confident with my ability to react on the fly. Okay, so off we go. I head for the door she escaped into. It's another cafeteria area, the mirror image of the area I had just left. Like literally, yeah, it's like it's the same room. She must have gone into the offices. I walk through the seating area, but suddenly a vending machine topples down, blocking the way behind me. Gasp, it was a trap! How? I could climb over it, but the dog must know exactly where I am now. Trying not to think too much about it, I proceed into the offices. It's quiet and seemingly empty. I flatten my body below the height of the desks. Where could she be? All of a sudden, a cabinet topples down towards me. How is this happening? Well, clearly she's stalking you and trying to squash you with heavy appliances. I make a beeline for the gap between two tables. Good thing I wasn't squashed, but I want to stay hidden and leave the area. The sound from the furniture traps surely is how she avoids being caught off guard. The further in I go, the more apparent it is that the desks had been rearranged. Have I been funneled into this direction without even noticing? I gulp involuntarily, feeling the lump go down my throat. It's only the beginning of the arena. How did she manage to set this up so quickly? One wrong move, and I'll be eliminated. Another bang, and I jump. No, you actually didn't. Forget finding the dog. I'm getting out of here. There should be a fire escape nearby, assuming it's connected to the one on the shopping floors. I scan the walls, and thankfully, I spy the door in question. Heading straight for it, I press on the button that opens it. It doesn't budge. No, 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 no! I press again and again, desperately, empty clicks ringing in my ears like my heartbeat. Oh my, my, my. A really reckless one, aren't you? The dog appears from behind one of the office desks. Such a shame to be eliminated so quickly. I don't answer, backing away and putting some distance between us. Honestly, I'm surprised that someone would fall for this so quickly. She slowly looks me up and down. I don't have the luxury to observe her in the same detail, instead trying to scan the room for openings, while only watching her for sudden movements in my peripheral vision. Ah, I get it. You're a prod dog, aren't you? Still don't know what a prod dog is. I turn my full attention on her. She's smiling smugly. I try to keep my expression neutral, but she seems to have caught the brief flash of irritation. That explains your abysmal performance thus far. I've been performing perfectly well. You're just trying to distract me. I could just run away, you know. I'm bluffing, and we both know it. From the way she cornered me by blocking the fire escape, she had exactly predicted my actions. She probably already set up something behind me to further trap me. I might be slightly larger than her, but at this stage in the arenas, physical strength barely gives me a competitive edge. But in this desperate situation, maybe... I run forward, ramming into her. She sidesteps so I don't impact her head on, but it's enough to throw her off balance. However, she uses a split second of impact to feel up my torso. I know exactly what she's looking for. God, even at a moment like this, she's gathering information. You don't have it hidden there? I make a wild dash towards another door that probably leads back to the side of the office complex I came from. Thankfully, it opens, and I frantically look behind me as I run out. The other dog hasn't moved to pursue me. Goodbye, my little puppy. She waves cheerfully, but along with her sweet smile, she's watching me beadily. She let me go on purpose. All my bravado sapped out of me, I escape back to my floors, tail tucked between my legs the whole time. Okay, day 3. The next couple of days, I just snoop around, getting a catalog of the other dogs. I take the freight elevator several times without incident, and leave some items around the access points to my floor so I can observe if anyone has trespassed. For example, I dragged up a fluffy rug and set it in front of the elevator doors so I would notice if there were any paw indents in it. In front of the fire escape doors, 4 in total, I spread a thin layer of powder. This I procured by sneaking into the office floors and grabbing some food replacement powder from the kitchen. I also arranged some simple traps and funnels in the storefronts like the dog above me had. However, since most of my props are clothes racks, instead of something sturdy and heavy like office desks, there are obvious vulnerabilities in my funnels. Despite the preparations, my floor remains relatively quiet. I wonder if it's because I'm on the lowest floors. To get here, dogs would have to get past that absolutely brutal trapper above me. If anyone is in the best position to eliminate me, it would be her. Thankfully, she seems to prefer to lure dogs in, which reminds me. Okay, so we're going to flashback again. I step out of the freight elevator to a floor that's above the trapper's levels. Trapper is a code name I've taken to get to calling the dog above me. All right, coast clear. I scan all around me, including the ceiling, before venturing out. Suddenly, I hear yapping coming from a distance, and I cautiously move along the wall towards the sound. As I near the circular corridor overlooking the escalators, I can tell that the sound is coming from a floor or 2 below. I creep up to the railing and peer down. Oh, fish sticks. I don't get where they get fish sticks. This is dogs. Wouldn't it be dog bones? Anyway, the trapper has a dog tied up very, very well. Its feet are bound together and its torso is tied to the railings on that floor. Oh dear. She circles the prey and I hear the smug, playful tone she used with me the other day. She moves closer to the trapped dog and lowers her voice. I can't make out what she's saying, but the conversation seems quite one-sided. After some moments, she starts prodding around the victim's torso and seems to find what she's looking for. Tied up dog seems completely out of it. However, instead of smashing its pendant immediately, the trapper chats away for a bit longer. Not eliciting any response from the victim, the trapper shrugs and finally takes a swipe at the dog. Shattered! Well, that's one down. The trapper watches the dog dissolve before sauntering away. Okay, now we're at day 4. Anyhow, today I'm going to try to scout out a higher up floor. My freight elevator doesn't go up past the 40th floor. That looks weird. Is that how you spell 40th? Should there be a U in there? No, I suppose not, because 40... Anyway, dialogue. So I can either take the custom elevators from the 10th floor or the separate freight elevators from the 20th. Compared to typical arenas set in the open, this level design complicates traveling, since there are bottlenecks at each floor's access points. Perfect for dogs that operate like the trapper. Anyway, I want to get a better idea of the state of competition. So far, I've seen a larger black Shiba in the luxury restaurant floors. The dog eliminated by the trapper had occupied the floors above the trapper, for my guess. I arrive at the next series of floors, the amenities, basically luxury hotel rooms. There are some tripwires near the elevator, but luckily I spot them in time and avoid them. These wires are pretty thick. No wonder I didn't fall for them. Before I go any deeper inside, I need to plan an escape route. Circling the perimeter, I find a fire escape stairwell and triple check that it opens and closes properly. Can't take any chances after that narrow escape from the trapper. I memorize the route and head back to the elevator area. Alright, I hope this works out. I'll pretend to be caught and lure out the dog on this floor. I purposely pull on one of the tripwires. But instead of a trap, there's a strong jolt of electricity. What the? I let out an involuntary yap. While not a lethal shock, it is quite enough to numb me. Sheesh, now I see why these wires are so thick. I limp away and hunker behind a planted pot to recover. A potted plant. A planted pot. Okay, I didn't even realize I said that. All right, anyway, surprisingly, no dog comes. So once the feeling returns to my limbs, I emerge from cover. I pick a branch off the potted plant and use it to prod some of the remaining lines. I was hoping to get its attention, whoever it is. It might be busy, or perhaps it didn't bother to set up the wires to notify when tripped. I wanted to explore inside the hotel rooms, but if there's more of these traps, it's too dangerous. The scene of being at the trapper's mercy keeps replaying, sapping all of my courage to go further. I went from being so confident to such a wimp. Just then, someone steps out of the elevator. It's her! I follow my instincts and run. Down the corridor and to the left, there's the fire escape. Just before I can round the corner, it calls after me. I can't catch you there, so listen for a second. That voice. It's her! Well, clearly, I glance back. She's still standing in front of the elevator, so it doesn't sound like a trap. I pause, but only turn partially towards her, my body language making it clear that I intend to bolt if she makes any sudden movements. You see, I have a proposition for you. I'm interested in making these floors part of my trapper floors. Even she uses that term, trapper. What's in it for me? My voice is barely a squeak. No, Sid, get it together. You can't show her any weakness. See, I'm interested in partnering up with someone, though maybe partnering is the wrong word. I need a helper that I can be comfortable around. Of course, in return, you'll be getting a much higher ranking than you really deserve. Right. Under normal circumstances, I would have challenged her on her assumptions. I should tell her I can go get whatever ranking I want without her. She wants someone she can be comfortable around? She means someone she can eliminate at any time. Never in my life has anyone talked down to me like that. But I can't even justify getting offended. Even someone as prideful as I am cannot deny the truth of what she's implying. She even had the decency to say it in an indirect way. She really could eliminate me at any time. I have to agree so I can survive for a bit longer. What to say, what to say. We'll decide next time. Well, like clearly she's not to be trusted, but like Sid said, perhaps to last a little bit longer. So we'll continue next time. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, ring that bell, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all laters.